This is the Octave HS1. It is the world's first fully integrated PC and audio interface, and over the past few months I've spent hours upon hours testing this because it has so much potential. It's also a lot more affordable than I thought it was going to be. And it's not actually in there, that's just the box. I've got it on the desk in front of me. Here it is on the desk. I can pick it up. It is very light, and to make this video review easy to navigate, I've split it into chapters and answered the questions that need to be asked. And by the end of this video, I want you to be able to decide whether this is for you or not. So firstly, what is it? The Octave HS1 is a hardware unit that integrates a full Windows PC into a stage-ready enclosure. It is designed to let you run Studio VST plugins live whilst also functioning as a standalone multi-track recording interface and digital audio workstation. And to not bury the lead, yes, this runs NAMM A2 profiles. For the audio side of things, it has one XLR jack combi input with 48 volts phantom power and one high-Z instrument input. It has two 1/4-inch unbalanced mono outputs, that's for left and right, and a 1/4-inch headphone jack. For data and display, it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and Ethernet, an HDMI output, one fully functional USB-C port, one USB-C for power, 4 USB 3.0 ports, a micro SD slot, and that is a 10.1-inch full HD touchscreen. It comes with a carry case, a charger, a 4-button wireless foot switch, and a charging cable for the foot switch. But most importantly, the HS1 is usable out of the box. You turn it on, connect the Bluetooth foot switch, plug in your guitar and connect to either headphones or a powered speaker, and you're ready to go. Let's cover this early on. Yes, it is running Windows 11, but this is a special version. I asked Octave Technologies to confirm this, and they told me Windows is debloated on our device. Updates are disabled by default and enabled through software in case you want to update. No AI, no Cortana, etc. So there is no chance of a gig falling apart halfway through because Microsoft is telling you that you need a critical update to make your guitar sounds work. This is one for the nerds. The HS1 has a quad-core 2.9 GHz Intel N5095 processor, 16 GB of RAM, a 256 GB SSD hard drive, and a 10.1-inch touch screen. Inside is a replaceable 4,900 mAh battery, which is enough for several hours of operation. Now, while this is not an over-the-top spec, that is enough computer to record multiple audio and MIDI tracks and run a number of guitar modeling plugins all at the same time. Inside the HS1 is a modified version of the ESI Never Uno. And this is a 24-bit 192 kHz 2-in, 2-out audio interface that retails for around 60 notes. It seems to be a solid choice, and it's had the knobs and the buttons and the sockets improved when building it into the chassis of the HS1. The HS1 is designed to be playable out of the box, like any guitar product that you buy. There's no Windows setup, it boots straight into an admin account, and Octave Technologies have deals with a few software developers, so included software includes, but is not limited to, a special version of Overloud's THU guitar plugin, the Reaper DAW, Gig Performer, BYOD, Craftlab's Mayorism, Boomerang Live Looper, and as I mentioned before, it runs NAMM A2. I've connected my Octave Bluetooth foot switch controller, and I've loaded up Gig Performer, and using the buttons on here, I can cycle through the rack on the left-hand side. But let's go to the top and see what Overloud THU sounds like on the HS1. I want me some Strat Clean. of course, we're kind of evaluating the plugin here, but from latency terms, there is none, or rather there's no noticeable latency. It's kind of like using a wireless unit. There is latency there, I just can't hear it. Or more importantly, I can't feel it. Let's come out of THU, and using the thingy, we'll go down to Mayerism. So this is a John Mayer inspired, very neural DSP looking plugin called CraftLabs Mayerism. I don't know how John Mayer that is, but it is very nice and reverby-y and fendery and possibly dumbly. I don't know. What else have we got? If I go that one, it'll change the volume slow gate. What is that? That works. Now, let's go down to what I'm most excited by, and that is the NAMM rack. Oh, I've got to get rid of the Mayerism. There we go. The NAMM rack is loaded a gateway plugin just here, and this is a Vox AC15 Capture 3. If I press this one, it will cycle through to the next NAMM capture, which is a Plexi 67. There's quite a lot of noise there coming from the plugin, so that could do with a bit of more noise gate. Ah, there we go. Adjust the noise gate maybe, Andy, and that would sound better. This one is BYOD, which is Build Your Own Distortion. And again, there's a lot of noise coming in there, so I could really do with the noise gate, but let's soldier on. What does that sound like? That sounds kind of weird. There's apparently a drum plugin on the next rack instance. I can adjust it just there. So this is probably quite good for practicing. There's a lot of hiss coming through. It's the plugin. Now, because this has Gig Performer, you can also play backing tracks within it. And if I go to this one, double tap that and press play. Now, I'm not going to run through all the plugins that are included because this is not a review of the plugins. I just wanted to show you that the included plugins do sound good, the unit does load it, and there is no noticeable latency when I play. Now, while the included plugins cover a lot of ground, your favorite plugin might not be included. And if you have a license, you can install your plugin on the HS1 as you would any Windows PC. But due to the available processing power, not all plugins will work well. I've installed a few of my favorites, and this is what they sound like. One of my favorite plugins is Helix Native. It's a bit of an older plugin now, but it's based on the last generation of Helix from line 6. And let's get some high gain going on. The latency on this feels lower somehow. This feels even more tight to what I'm playing. It feels natural. Let's try another one. Let's try Archetype Lead. Yeah, that is tight, that is there, and the plugin sounds great. Let's load up another plugin, something more modern, into Geek Performer. That is taking its time. My hopes are not high on this one. I don't think it's supposed to sound like that. That might need a bit of tweaking, or it just simply doesn't work. The latency is maybe I need to load that in Geek Performer. If you load Genome 2 on one of these, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. This is Tonex running within Geek Performer. The housing is aluminium. It's got a very strong piece of glass on there that you wouldn't want to drop anything heavy onto, but general use is going to be fine. The casing seems to dissipate the heat well. It's got vents all around it, and the screen is laid into the case with precision, and all sockets, buttons, switches and knobs feel high quality. Plugging things in and plugging things out has a quite sort of satisfying pull on the cable. And although there is a little bit of play in the jack sockets, it's no more than any other units I've used recently. I hope that Octave Technologies have looked into that and make sure that's strong enough for road use. As I said, I've been using it for months, not failed on me yet. My initial impression was that this is a professional unit. Oh, can you see, by the way, that the screen does rotate depending on how you have it? That is something you can't do on all laptops. It is a professional unit. It is a far cry from some PC/audio interface combinations I've seen on the internet. And there is an Apple-style quality to it, but only if Apple made things for the military. The touchscreen, which is quite hard for me to capture on camera without getting light reflections, is phenomenal. I was highly skeptical, but I'd say that I've got a 95 to 99% success rate, even with these huge fingers. And I did also connect this Bluetooth keyboard and touchpad to it, but I found myself not really needing that, and the on-screen keyboard is pretty satisfying. Now, because it's battery powered, there is a battery in this, and it's accessible in this port on the back. You just need to unscrew the panel and swap the battery over. And that is definitely not possible on any other unit for guitar players. And while I would hope that I would not have to do this for some time, it is nice to have the option, and it fills me with confidence that if this is the kind of attention to detail that Octave Technologies are putting into their unit, the rest of the choices they've made must be pretty good ones as well. Well, it's a PC, so you can watch YouTube on it, you can play solitaire, you can plug in a games controller and play Doom on it. Because it has an HDMI out, you can run a video show or put lyrics or tabs on a second screen, and you can use it as a backing track player. It's got everything you need. You can also lift it off the floor and have it on a microphone stand or a camera tripod or one of those magic arm things clipped somewhere. So you can really keep it out of the way if you really want to. Now, some of the most fun I had with the HS1 was with my son, because he's currently learning to play the drums. So I installed Easy Drummer 2 on the HS1. I plugged in my electric drum kit, and he and I did a little father-son drum guitar vocal session with all the sounds coming from the HS1 and being recorded in Reaper on the HS1. Now, if a company is going to bring out a floor unit that runs Windows and Windows plugins, it has to be built like a tank, reliable AF, low latency, and have great audio quality. And the Octave HS1 does that with ease. The included software is superb and more than enough for most music makers. And I say music makers because there are even plugins for keyboards and bass and vocals that come with the unit. And if this had 1 or 2 more inputs, you could easily run a 4-piece band with it. You could, of course, plug in an external audio interface into one of the USB sockets, but this would kind of defeat part of the objective of having it an all-in-one box. So yes, you could build a small laptop and audio interface into a case yourself, but this unit is more than that. It is a tried and heavily tested system. It's ready to go out of the box. This version of Windows 11 is the best version I've ever used, and although I am 95% of the time a Mac user, the Octave HS1 doesn't suffer from any of the issues that scare me about using a Windows PC live. This is designed to be a stable workhorse, and I have zero concerns about the unit letting me down in the middle of a gig or rehearsal. The debloated, stable software is one of the main reasons this is better than a laptop and an audio interface. No, it's not perfect. In fact, mine didn't work fully out of the box. It crashed every time that I loaded Gig Performer. But the support I received from Octave Technologies was outstanding and very thorough. And after some back and forth with the company, the HS1 has been rock solid ever since, even after installing my own plugins and pushing it further than it's probably supposed to be pushed. It is certainly not a guitar processor for the person who wants to just plug in and play. This is not a quad cortex replacement, quad cortex killer. This is a convenient, well-built guitar processor for nerds that love to tinker and also make music. I don't have many problems with this, but the choice of USB-C for the power could have been improved by having some kind of locking system to prevent it from accidentally unplugging, or from some protection around the socket to reduce the chance of it snapping off, because USB-C can be a little bit flimsy. It's fine, I would love it to have that. But my biggest gripe with the unit is the fact that the fan inside can get quite loud. Live, this would be no problem. But if you are used to whisper quiet devices in the studio, this can seem quite annoying when you're running Reaper or Gig Performer and all your things together. I have reached out to Octave Technologies and they told me that they will look into putting quieter fans into future units. You're welcome. The HS1 will set you back around 800 notes, and considering all the things it can do and do them reliably, I think this is a competitive price. For guitarists, the HS1 is outstanding in almost every way. It may not load every plugin available, but if you can't get a good sound from the plugins that you can run and the NAMM A2 profiles, the problem is not with the unit. That being said, I would love to see a pro version with more processing power to run anything you can throw at it, and have the box maybe twice as deep, so keep the size of the screen, but have like a double big whopper version, so you could have multiple balanced XLR outs with 4 or maybe 8 inputs. but most of this is unnecessary. It would just be a cool thing. Now, I've tested the HS1 with more skepticism than any other piece of gear in the history of my YouTube channel. I did not want to recommend something that I was not fully behind, and I was so excited about the potential of a integrated Windows plug-in guitar system. And after a few months of using it, I do think that Octave Technologies have a hit on their hands. It is not for everybody, but it is very good at what it does. If you want more info, there are links in the video description, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I am super intrigued to read those comments. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!